2025 drafted Longhorns. Some of them did not play in week 2 of the preseason, but there was a couple of standouts. I have 4 standouts. Quinn Ewers, 11 of 17, 116 yards and 2 touchdowns after a really rough first game there against the with the Miami Dolphins. He comes back, has a really nice game, leads 2 touchdown drives. Did you get the chance to watch it? And if you did, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I did. And I was very impressed. And anyone that watches like Quinn in college, he kind of did the same thing. When it was up and down, when he was down, he kind of turned it around the next week. I was never concerned with him. Like, I think Tua mentioned that in a press conference of, hey, this guy's always calm no matter what. He's just going to be calm. And you saw that. He played very well. Still, the pocket awareness, that's like the number one thing for me. If he could just solve that, I think he'll be fine because he has everything else going for him. He has a pretty good arm. He's very accurate, and he anticipates throws very well. Like, that's the number one trait, in my opinion, and he fits very well in that system. Now the question is, I don't think he's going to win the backup job. Does he do enough this week or whenever they play again to secure the roster spot? I think that's the question. I don't know if they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, my assumption is they will. I think they drafted him, and I think he's just a perfect fit within the system that they're going to run there. Question I think now is, how much longer is McDaniel going to be the head coach there? There's a lot of questions in Miami, and McDaniel could be the scapegoat. But yeah, nice bounce back game from Quinn. He did not look good in that first game. You talked about pocket presence. I think he had 2 fumble lost and just, way less than 50% completion percentage. This time, though, a lot more efficient, looked a little bit more calm. The pocket presence is still a complete work in progress. It's something that he just has never looked really ever good at. I mean, even at Texas, his entire time there. So hopefully he could take a big step up. Andrew Makuba, a massive day for the Eagles. 1 tackle, a 75-yard pick 6 against Dillon Gabriel. He also had a fumble recovery in there as well. Sort of a weird interception where Dillon is rolling out left. 2 guys have their hands out, and Makuba just kind of goes right in the middle of them, steals the ball out of their hand, 75 yards, and great little showcase there. The Eagles get another great talent. Makuba is a perfect fit for what they need there, and he's going to be a great player for them.
Yeah, I mean, he just has instincts for the ball. Like, that's what he did at Texas. Yep. Wherever the ball is, he finds it. And if someone has the ball, he's going to hit you, and he's going to hit you super hard. And the Eagles, again, do it well. I mean, this guy, what's crazy is people don't talk about this. This guy wasn't a starter here at Texas before Derek Williams got hurt. Like, Derek Williams got hurt, and then he became a starter, which is crazy to say. But this guy is a phenomenal football player, someone – like I said, has a nose for the football. And it's funny, intercepted Dillon Gabriel because I'm not a fan of Dillon Gabriel. I could not believe the Browns drafted him in the 3rd round. And, he kind of proved the point there with that interception for me. So,
yeah, Dillon is, they've just announced that Flacco will be the starting quarterback. So to any of the people who wanted Sanders there, probably not going to happen. Next, I have Jahdae Barron. He had 4 tackles on the day. I thought he looked sharp in coverage. Wasn't really tested too often. Barron's in a ideal situation there in Denver where he gets to play, after the preseason, of course, alongside Patrick Surtain, who can basically lock down an entire side of the field. And the Denver Broncos sort of have this fun little task here of figuring out, okay, is Barron going to play a safety? Is he going to play in the nickel? Do we want to play him on the outside? They have a lot of talent in that secondary, but I think Jahdae Barron is probably the second best talent alongside Pat Surtain. And I thought he looked pretty good in that preseason game.
Yeah, as someone who's a Broncos fan and a Texas fan, I think it's awesome. Well, first off, we have 6 Longhorns on the team, which is awesome. Second, it was awesome that we got like one of my favorite players ever to watch at Texas just because of how smart he is playing football. Like, I don't think he's the most athletic guy. I think he trained really hard for that 40 to get that time. I don't think he really runs like a 4.3. But he's super smart, knows where the football is at all times or where he should be. And then he's just physical. Like, that's the thing. Why he was so perfect for the nickel and so good at the line of scrimmage is because when he comes downhill, he doesn't miss tackles because he's not afraid to put his nose in there. And we saw that in the preseason. He came downhill, forget who the Cardinals player was, but got him down. The guy's trying to stiff arm him off, and he brought him to the ground. The question now is on Broncos Twitter, is it going to be Jaquan McMillan at nickel or is it going to be Jahdae Barron? It's kind of split 50-50 right now. Jaquan McMillan's a really good football player. So I don't really have any issues with the rotation there to see what happens. Riley Moss, I'm going to be honest, hit or miss for him. I mean, that Bengals game still hurts me to watch.
Mm.
He got absolutely killed by T. Higgins that whole game. And the best thing about this is I no longer have to watch Levi Wallace, who got absolutely destroyed in the Browns game and gave up like 200 yards receiving to Jerry Jeudy. That will not be happening with Jahdae Barron at cornerback.
Yep. So as our local Denver fan, do you have a preference? Would you want to see him play on the outside over Moss, or do you want to see him stick inside at nickel and maybe replace Jaquan McMillan, who didn't have the greatest year last year, but is a pretty solid talent?
Yeah, so I think it's depending on the scheme you're going against offensively. If it's a more run-heavy scheme, I actually probably would put Jahdae Barron at the nickel because, come down to the physicality. But if you're going against like the Bengals again, yes, I want Jahdae Barron outside because I trust him more versus T. Higgins than I do Riley Moss. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Riley Moss improves, which is definitely possible. But he struggled down the stretch for Denver last year.
Yeah, totally fair. So Gunnar Helm, we just talked about him a little bit earlier. 4 catches for 48 yards and a nice touchdown catch. I think that one I don't think it was from Cam Ward. I can't quite remember, but I thought he had a nice day. He looked solid in run blocking as well and made a couple of nice catches. He had a couple of nice catches the last week too. So he's having a nice little camp. There's some competition in that room that might maybe not make him the starter, but if they do run some 12 personnel, Helm will get a lot of opportunities. And I think probably within the next 3 years, he'll probably be the starting tight end for Tennessee.
No, I completely agree. I think he had 4 catches for like 55 to 60 yards or something like that and a touchdown. So really, really good second week from him. Like you said, it's going to be a competition there wide open. I think there's 3 guys competing for that starting spot. So it'll be interesting if he does win it, and they get to play my Broncos early. So it's going to be interesting how Cam Ward does. I mean, that's a really hard test. I think first game is versus the Broncos defense. We'll see how Gunnar Helm and Cam Ward do, but I agree. I think Gunnar Helm and Barron Sorrell, to me, were the most underdrafted players from this Texas class, in my opinion. I think Gunnar Helm's going to be a really good football player in the NFL.
Yeah. Speaking of the Titans, they have the Broncos in week 1. Then they got to go up against Jared Verse and all those Florida State guys against the LA Rams in week 2. So welcome to the NFL, Cam Ward. It only gets much harder from here on out. And we saw Kelvin Banks, Bryce, the coach, talked about it. Banks looked great. Yeah. We talked about it on the last Tuesday live stream. Me and Brandon described it as it looks like he's gliding. And we saw that at Texas. Whenever he gets into his drop back, it doesn't like there are certain guys that look like it feels unnatural to him. It feels like robotic in a way. Cam Williams kind of struggled with that a little bit last year for Texas.
Yeah.
And part of that's just because of just how big he is. For Banks, he is like the perfectly well-built tackle to where he's athletic enough to just sort of glide back there. And his positioning of his body, his punch, everything about him is just so pure. And his relationship alongside that left guard is always pivotal, especially when you're doing a lot of zone run schemes, which is what the Saints are going to be doing a whole lot this year. He looked really smooth out there. He looked great. It's a shame he's on the Saints because the Saints don't look very good this year, but Kelvin Banks will definitely be a bright spot for them.
Yeah, I think he was just the highest rated so far offensive lineman of the whole preseason. I think he's got like an 88.6 grade or something crazy like that. So I'm not surprised. Him and Will Campbell getting talked about the way they did going into the draft was crazy to me. Like, I know measurables weren't perfect on either of those guys, especially Will Campbell's arm length and everything. But just turn on the tape. Like, they played in the SEC and they were freaking good their whole 4 years, and they started since they were freshmen. Or 3 years. I don't really care what their measurables are at that point, because guess what? They're going against NFL guys week after week, and they were just fine.
Yeah, and one of the knocks on Banks was that Georgia game where Jalen Walker had a couple of sacks. But, like, most of those sacks, if not every single play he made, was on Quinn Ewers. It was not on Kelvin Banks. That one sack that he had way deep almost in the end zone, that was Quinn's fault. That was not Kelvin Banks' fault. So, the knocks on Banks and even Will Campbell to an extent were a little ridiculous. But so far, those guys have looked good. We haven't talked about Barron Sorrell. He looked okay out there. Isaiah Bond just got signed by the Cleveland Browns, so congrats to him. And Matthew Golden did not play, and Jaden Blue has not played so far either. As a Cowboys fan, I hope that he can, because he's going to play a big role for this team, because the running back room for Dallas is pretty pathetic. That's it for the 2025 drafted Longhorns. They all looked good out there. They look like they're all primed for a solid rookie season. No injuries so far to any of these guys, which is important, except for Jaden Blue. He's going to be returning here soon. So everything looks good. And do you have any other things you want to say about that?
No, I agree. I'm in love with Matthew Golden. There are people, in the Texas space that said, he's not going to be that good when he got here. He's going to be a special teams guy. And I just thought that was crazy. And he's going to be great for the Packers. I hate his number, but he's going to be great for the Packers.
Yeah. What is he, 22?
Yeah, 22.
Yeah, the number is ridiculous, but I mean, nobody else in that Packers team can even catch a football. So Matthew Golden's going to probably be the safety blanket for Jordan Love. And I wouldn't be surprised if Matthew Golden leads all rookies in receiving yards next year. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Which means there's a really good chance he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, Jency probably be my favorite, but Matthew Golden would be right there too. So a lot of good things to look forward to if you're a Longhorns fan in the NFL.